It's Magical Monday, and things are getting controversial. Welcome, magical people. It is Monday. Things are getting a little bit controversial. I will not be spilling the tea. Hopefully not. That's sacrilege in the UK. Right, we have some news, including bugs and boycotts. So that should be fun. And we've got a week's event review a little bit, and the week ahead, which has changed a little bit. So we'll stick around for the week ahead stuff, as it will be a little handy. Right. So in the news, Lethal Adversaries event is in the code. So we reckon it's around about October that it's coming. And that's from Zealman by our Potter 101's Discord. So yeah, that should be coming out in October. So that'll be our first Lethal Adversary event. That'll be Barty Crouch Jr. Now, ironically, talking about boycotting events, this will probably be the best one, but we'll get around to that in a bit. Also in the code, there is a Maxima version of the spells. The only clue is that the task says cast X Maxima attacks. So currently, all our attacks are basically normal attacks. So sometimes you get a crit if you're lucky. That's kind of like a dice roll when you make your cast, and you either make the cast or you fail it. Essentially, basically it. The highest part is kind of chasing the little recule around as the thing moves around, especially with dragons. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have right now. But apparently, you can do a Maxima spell. Now, as I would like this to work, I would like it to be that, depending on how accurate you cast the trace, will depend on whether you get a Maxima. If you do it very accurately, you get a Maxima. For God's sake, no more freaking dice rolls and everything. Everything is a dice roll, and nothing has anything to do with skill in this game. So let's just make it that. And we kind of have a thing with the critical cast. You have a higher chance, apparently, if you hit a certain spot on the task cast as you go past. You can sometimes see that as a red dot. If you miscast it, you'll see the red dot of where the chance to get a critical cast was. But even if you do hit the dot, it's still a dice roll again. So yeah, but with a critical cast, as far as we are aware, and as far as what James has understood from talking to developers and support, that the speed of your cast has no difference. Now, as we know, casting things at speed cause problems for a lot of players. So I'd rather just kept that out of the equation, and it just be the accuracy of that cast. We'll get a good or certain amount of accuracy, then you get a Maxima attack. No dice rolls, please. No more RNG. Thank you very much. We have way too much of it. Also, so the difference in this one basically is normal adversaries. You have two like guardians, and then you have the archfoe at the end. With this one, you've got to have 3 guardians. One of them is a normal archfoe, such as Lucius, for example, or Narcissa, or Fenrir, and Draco, and blah, 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 blah. But then you get another one on top, and that would be like Barty Crouch Jr. Now, I think I did see a graphic a long time ago of what they were, but they may have changed. So I'm not going to rely on that information, that's quite a long time ago. But yeah, so you'll get 2 normal guardians, a like archfoe from the normal page, and then this lethal adversary at the end. So you get 4 out. So you'll get 4 in total. So they'll be much more difficult. Yes. Be quite a grind. Of course, the adversary is kind of a long game, really. So yeah. Should be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Did anybody else spot the werewolf in the Whomping Willow? If you check your registry pages for the Prisoner of the Vow, you'll look at the Whomping Willow, and it will have a werewolf's head in it. Don't know why, but it matches the werewolf's head next door to it, so someone made a bit of a mistake while cutting and pasting. Right, so now we're going to move on to bugs and boycotts. So our weekly bug update. Adventure Sync on Android, still broken. Which is like polls suggest this is around about 78% of players are experiencing this problem in some way or another. Just to note that that's a high number, but just to note that these sort of surveys, those being affected are more likely to respond like, I'm annoyed, I'm going to press the R button. Whereas people are like, have no problem about, oh yeah, a survey, and go past it. I don't know how many of those there are, but it does happen. But yeah, it's quite a significant problem. Split energy gifts, still broken, still crash the game. I'm only giving out extravagant gifts at the moment, so if you're on my friends list and I get an energy gift from me, it will be extravagant. So it's worth the crash, I guess. Extremely low potion crash in challenges, still there, still broken. So one thing to suggest is wait, you put an extremely low potion while you're in a wizarding challenge. Just wait for the bubble animation to go away before coming out. The adversary encounters are unstable in areas without strong signal. That is still a problem. You could do a fortress just fine, but apparently adversaries are really, really fuzzy. That was one that I was asked to add by popular demand because there are so many bugs in this game. So if you have any more bugs you want me to keep track of, stick with a comment below and I'll keep track of them for you. Not that anyone's doing anything about them. So now moving on to the 1920s boycott. So they have big calls to boycott the 1920s event in light of the adventure sync and other bugs which are just not being fixed. Expecto Go and Witches Unite / the Hub put out a statement saying, this is not really the most effective way of doing it because WB only tracks task completion. So, return 2 potions from the ground or whatever. They only sort of measure those as metrics when they're measuring an event. And of course, the 1920s event that we've got coming up doesn't have any tasks, so they're not really going to measure it. However, I can see the point of picking this one because this is the one that people are more likely to spend money on Silver Keys, for example. And it's a bit of a middle finger, essentially, to Niantic because this one is kind of seen as a money grab situation, locking it down to Silver Keys, much like edible dark marks for adversaries. I'm not quite sure what WB think they're doing. So they need to realise that their drop in revenue is due to the bugs. So I think they're looking at, our money is going down and the percentage of people completing the events is high. So if we reduce that, the money will go up. But it's not that simple because people are leaving because of the bugs, not because of the tasks. Of course, that idea doesn't really work because they're not making money because people are leaving and not playing the events. They're not making money because people are completing the task too easy. People will just play harder for free or just not play. So yes, WB seem to think that they're dropping revenues due to events being too easy, but they probably see a percentage increase in the completion rates. And this is probably because the ones that are the hardcore players are more likely to hang around because we're higher level. As we're higher level, we find it easier to complete the tasks. So the tasks get harder, we'll push through, even if it's harder, and we'll get wound up, but we will complete them. But it will slowly grind away at our will, and the hardcore players will leave. If less people are doing the events, who are finding it hard to drop off, and the people who are really giving it some are the only ones left playing it and complete it, of course the completion rate's going to go up higher. But you had to take into account the overall number of people doing the event, right? So yeah, I think they're being skewed by their own analytics. Because what I am seeing on the ground when I look at Reddit and Facebook and Twitter is that people are refusing to pay for a poor product, which is what is happening. This is a poor product. There's no one can say this is a good product right now. People are leaving the game because of constant frustrations with bugs, and they're cranking up the pay to win, and the tasks are getting harder. It's kind of like people are saying, we're not going to pay for crap. And it's like WB turned around and said, well, we're going to make you pay for the crap by making it harder. It's kind of the wrong attitude. They're kind of rubbing heads on heads here. And, well, players will leave because that's the easy option. WB can't make people play. They can only encourage people to play by making a nice game, which is not frustrating. And there are many, we listed a few of the bugs, which are the mainstream ones. But there are many players out there with game busting issues. There's one person I've seen where their game constantly crashes when they try to place an image on the registry. They've got like pages and pages of shimmering registry, but every time they tap one, it crashes. And every time the XP bar goes to the top, it crashes. They managed to log a ticket with support, which is a mini game in itself, getting past the stupid bot. But yeah, no answer to their query. And they're just sitting there, waiting and waiting and waiting. So, in case WB are watching, And I feel sorry for Lola because, well, it's not their product. They're just kind of a community person, and they don't somebody, which is like isn't even their main game because they do it for other things. Because it doesn't even seem like they have staff doing the game anymore. Like one developer, maybe 1 day a week or something. It started way back when they rejigged the registry and messed everyone up. People said, well, I'm not paying any money for that now because I lost all this stuff. And then over time, they put more and more bugs, and people say, why should I pay for something that's not good? I kind of see it like as tipping. Good service, you get a tip, you get money, a couple of quid a month, or something like that. But if you're going to give me rubbish, it's not worth tipping. So let's spell it out to WB. You are losing money because you have a poor quality product. Players are leaving or withholding money because of a poor product, not because the tasks are too easy. Fix the game, process your tickets, be open with the community, and have a relationship with the community, and we will come back and start paying money. Make a good product, get money. Simple. So, should you boycott 1920's event? Not the best one. I would suggest, given the latest information, to actually boycott the first lethal adversary event. I'm not saying do it. This is a suggestion. I'm in talks with Expecto Go and HP Wizards Unite to actually come up on an idea. But my idea is to boycott the first lethal adversary event because, well, it's also seen as a money grab because it has that use edible dart mark, 2 edible dart marks, and you only get 1 in a free gift. And the other way is to pay gold or spend actual money. And it has tasks, and apparently they track the tasks. And also, it's the first lethal event, so they're going to be looking at those numbers. So that's my suggestion for it, but will come out through like Expecto Go's stuff channels in a proper way. People wonder why I still play the game. Well, actually, I mean, on the whole, I kind of enjoy it, and it's something for me to do while I'm walking the dog. If I didn't have the dog, would I still play it? Maybe for exercise. And also, it's annoyingly, it's Harry Potter, and it's kind of a thing I like. And I actually kind of like the storyline now that it's got more exciting. So yeah, I kind of like the Brilliant Events. If I was going to do one event, it would probably be the Brilliant Events. And I'd probably dish the rest if that was a thing that I could only do one event. I'm also quite lucky that I can actually get out and walk around a lot. Some places like Australia are in complete lockdown. So they're kind of stoofed. So anyway, let's move on to event reviews because that's kind of a bit depressing. But yes, it is what it is, and hopefully something will get sorted. So, event reviews. We had our Braid event, Prisoner of the Bow Part 2. So we had a bit of funny with the werewolf in the Whomping Willow. Boosted foundables were hardly boosted. The Ministry Executioner and Buckbeak were super hard to find, requiring many Trace Charms and Trace Tonics. I refer back to my earlier statement about WB trying to get their revenue back by making it hard and not actually doing whatever it actually wants, which is fixing the bugs. But anyway, so my 45-minute daily loop only revealed 1 Buckbeak while using Trace Tonic. Usually I can complete the entire set of tasks in that one loop. You do 1 loop a day, and usually that's a set of tasks done for each day. For reference, I completed the 45 Brilliant Foundables about 3/4 of the way around the loop. So that gives you an idea of how decent my spawn rate is. So after about half an hour, I can pick up 45 Brilliant Foundables easily. The following day, I only saw 2. But I had a couple of Trace Charms. So I Trace Charmed both of those, and they gave me a duplicate. So 2 fragments for 2 duplicates. So it's 4 fragments. So I managed to get 8 fragments for the 2, which completed my 10. So that's kind of how I did it. But yeah, I'm glad I had the Trace Charms saved up. So other than that, it was pretty normal. I started messing around with different tower chambers for the formidable foes, and I found a good niche. So Tower 3 with level 3 runestones seemed to work quite well, because obviously the higher the runestone, the more difficulty it does. It does affect what kind of foes you get. But I found Tower 3 with runestones 3 actually quite effective, and you get over 50% return on main registry fragments. So it's a handy little grind as well. So what do you think of the storyline? We lost Gareth, but at least he didn't escape. At least he died. This is coming out after the event ends, or very nearly the event ends. So, you know, you should have done it by now. So Penelope and Sirius were under Harry's nose the entire time, in a picture frame on Gareth's desk, much like the paintings at Hogwarts. I don't know why they didn't investigate Gareth's office when they caught him. You would have thought they would have searched the place and go, oh look, there's Penelope in a picture frame, and she's trying to get our attention to get out. But yes, apparently they didn't do that. So things to look forward to. Coming ahead, whatever's in Gareth's diary that they got out of the love room, and they also have access to the love room. So hopefully we'll get some juicy secrets out of that. The love room, of course, was mentioned in the books. It was the locked room in the Ministry. So yes, it was mentioned in the books, which I've just done that as an audiobook, actually, funny enough. I always struggle with that because it's got unbridged in it. It's always a hard book to get through. So let me know what you think of the story in the comments below as well. So this week in Wizards Unite, because that was literally the only thing that happened, we have the 1920s Convergence event. So that's starting a little early. So it was local time, but it's now using a fixed time, and it's a day earlier. So it's 14th to the 16th now. That'll be 11 p.m. to 11 p.m. UTC. This is apparently in response to the Adventure Sync issues, but the date in the games hasn't been updated. So it's going to catch a lot of people out who don't use social media and YouTube, and there's no point in me telling them because they're not going to be watching this video. But yeah, and also there are no tasks. So these teal portkeys will just appear. But there is a free store pack, and it also has 2 silver keys in it. So at least you're going to get at least 3 out of it, because everyone's kind of blown their silver key stash last time, and probably all their gold. So yeah, I did say this would be a bit of a problem, this one, if they didn't give us something. And they have. They give us 2 silver keys. Some channels are advising using Dawdle Draft, but I wouldn't panic over it, because I did over 30 port keys. I think around about 30 port keys I opened last time. And I deliberately didn't use any Extenuate potions or anything on them, because I wanted to see just how skittish they were. I didn't lose a single one. Every single one I caught within 1, 2, usually within 2 goes. Yeah, I didn't. So I don't know. I wouldn't fret over that too much. So if you're gonna spend gold, just spend it on silver keys from the store. The packs don't tend to be worth anything. I bought mine just straight from the thing, so I didn't need energy or whatever. So yeah, that's easy enough. I just kind of got through it all. Spent a lot of gold. I currently have 16 silver keys, which I saved up from the last event, so it's not too bad, not too shabby. I should be able to walk those off. So my 45-minute walk is over, well, it's about 2 kilometers, I think. So that should be fine. I should be able to walk 2 sets off within the day. So yeah, as again, the event will last longer than I can actually place the keys in them. So, you know, you can extend the event, which is fine, but of course we've all got to run out of keys at some point, so you might as well make the event a week long for all it matters, really. And then also we have Community Day on the 18th, which is going to be the New York City street page. So that's Newt Scamander, who requires the Bubblew and is an emergency. That's the Unicorn, requires Defendo and is severe. That's the Okami eggs, which require Flipendo, and they're very high. Okami itself and Thunderbird, which are both available from Fortress Challenges. Details are not released for that yet, but expect, boosted spawns and something around the Runestones rewards. Of course, we actually have 2 Fortress fragments, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to divide it up, but it may be fixed chambers or something like that. I don't know, but we'll find out. And check out taskforcetimes.news for that, for when it comes out, because there will be a guide on there, which is a quick reference guide, which is the same URL every time. Save it to your bookmarks, save it on your homepage, because just check that one URL and you have the latest information immediately. No looking for infographics and downloading them and flicking through your pictures. It's all there, one link, one click. And it has tips. There'll be no video next week, as I'll be off with Charlie Weasley in Romania hunting dragons, essentially. So yes, no video next week. But I say Taskforce Times.news will be updated with the latest information, as I remember to bring a laptop. Don't forget to like, add, subscribe, and share the video if you find it useful as well. Also, check me out on Twitter at @Zealman for the latest news as and when it happens, and also keep an eye on Expecto Go and HP Witches Unite and the Hub, just to see what we do about this boycott idea and what we think we should be doing, maybe if anything. So as usual, let me know in the comments below what you think of these issues and stuff, and if I'm being too depressing on here or something. But it is a bit of a tough time to be a Wizards Unite player right now. But hopefully things will clear up. Hopefully they'll get their ass in gear and doing more than 1 day a week on this game, developing it. Who knows? But anyway, until next time, brush up on your spells, get your ones ready, Wizards Unite.